that probably take her.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back again with another video for your viewing. I really hope this helps prepare you for our next quick check and test coming up later this week. Let's get started. So right here we have 9.3, graphing, analyzing rational functions. The essential question: what is the visual representation of a radical function? What is the domain and range? The transformation, the end behavior, zeros, intervals of increase and decrease of the radical function. A lot of this is just review from last semester, so let's go ahead and get into it. First off, let's graph it, okay? Graphing it, you can use your graphic device, your calculator. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. So we have this problem: negative square root of x plus 5. All right, we're gonna graph this thing. All right, like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and pick some points from the graph. All right, so the points we're going to use are going to be the second graph. All right, we have this point right here. Well, here, let me go up. First, there's a negative 5, 0. Alright, we're going to use that point, negative 5, 0. And then we'll use negative 4, 1, 1, negative 2. Let's find one more, 4, negative 3. Alright, we'll use that. We'll use those points. So I'm going to put them on the graph. So we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5, 0. Then we have negative 4, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, and there was one more, 4, negative 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Right there. So this graph is going to look like this. So connect these dots. Alright, and there's our graph, guys. I know it's not the best thing, but there's our graph. Alright, with this starting point right here, negative 5, 0. Alright. Anyway, so now that we have that, let's go down here and answer some of these questions. The transformations that we have, first is negative. That negative says reflect the x-axis. I'm going to actually type those in. So we have reflect the x-axis. Alright, then we have the plus 5. That plus 5 right there tells us we're going to go left 5. Alright, or left 5. There we go. Now, the domain. If you remember the rule for the domain, if you look at the starting point, the graph goes right. So we can say that all the x values are getting larger, which means that we're going to say x is greater than or equal to negative 5. For the range, see how from this point the graph is going down? Alright, so we're going to say y is less than or equal to this y value, which is 0. Alright. Now, next we have the end behavior. Now, how we list the end behavior is like this. As x goes to positive infinity, or as x goes to the right, where's the graph going? It's going down. So we're going to say to negative infinity. Alright, this function will continue going down infinitely. Alright, it'll never stop, it'll continue infinitely. But as x goes to the left, where does the graph go? How high does the actual function or that line go? Well, it only goes up to 0. So we're going to say the function approaches 0. zeros. All right, the 1 0 that we have right here where it touches the x-axis is going to be -5 0. -5 0. Or we can say x is -5. Let's go with that. Now, intervals increase and decrease. Well, from right here, all we have is the graph going down, so there's a decrease. There's no increase whatsoever. So increase, it won't be one. But for decrease, we'll say from the x value, -5. Alright, and it just decreases to positive infinity. I don't know if you guys remember from last semester where we would have negative infinity way out here and positive infinity right here. Well, there's no decrease. The graph starts right here at -5. Alright, and then from here it just decreases. So we're going to say that the decrease is from -5 to positive infinity. Alright, and then there's none. There's no increase, okay? Alright, let's go ahead and look at the next problem. Alright, now let's look at this problem right here. We're going to graph that one. Alright, we're going to graph that one, and that's a cubic right here. That's a cube root. So let's go ahead and graph that. Now for this one, it's a cube again. So when we put it in, we're going to press math right here. That's how you get to the cube root right here, option 4. So we have the cube root of 4x minus 12. Oops, minus 12. Now look, when you're done putting something underneath the radical, guys, just push the over button right there. Alright. And then we have -1. Like that. So let's graph this thing. Alrighty, there we go. So now, a couple things we're going to have to do with this calculator because we can't see like the 0 as clear. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back real quick and sketch this graph. The points we can see that we can use, let's see 5, 1. Hold on, let me go to the graph so you can see it. You have 1, -3, 3, -1, 5, 1. Alright, so we'll use those and see what we can get off those, okay? So I'm going to go back to the graph. Again, those points were 3, -1, so 1, 2, 3, -1. Alright, then there was 5, 1. So 3, 4, 5, 1. Alright. And then let's see here. Was there another suitable point I could have used? My 19.3 is way too big. And I'm looking at my calculator, guys, as I do this. Alright, I don't see one, so I know this thing approaches 4 though. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got this activity right here. There we go. Now, real quick, I want to find this 0. So let me show you how to find this 0 with your calculator. If we go back to the calculator, what we're going to do is, back on the graph, we can actually go second and trace. And we can use this option right, 0, where we can find our actual 0. So left bound, we know that this 0, let me get my pen, is right here. It's right there. Somewhere right there, there's a 0. Alright, so what we're going to do is left bound. I want to move my cursor to the left side of that point. So I'm on the left side. And then right bound, I want to move my cursor until I am on the right side of this point right there, 0. Alright, then it says guess. Alright, now the calculator is going to guess right there. So 3.250 is our 0, 3.250. Alright, so that's about 3 1/4. So 1, 2, 3, and about 1/4 of that space, 1/4. So 3 1/4, 0. Alright, so not only am I going to write that down right here, where it says 0, x equals 3.25. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 3.25. There's my 0 right there. So now I'm going to connect those dots. All right, there's my graph. Now, transformation. Let's talk about transformation. Well, since it's cubic, here we go. We're going to type this thing in. All right. We have the transformation. This 4 right here tells me a horizontal. Oh, that's big. Let's make that a little small. All right. Horizontal compression, or you can say shrink, by 1/4. Remember, underneath the radical, you do the reciprocal, so 1/4. And then we have the -12 right here, so that tells me right 12. And then we have the -1 on the outside, so that tells me down 1, like that. Okay, down. All right, so there's our transformations. Now let's talk about the domain. Well, it's a cubic function, cube root. All right, those domain and range, both guys, is going to be all real numbers. In behavior, as you can see, remember in behavior is your x value. So way out here on the left, you have negative infinity. And way out here to the right, you have positive infinity. And let's see, as x goes to the right, what is the graph doing? It's going up, it's increasing. So we're going to say to positive infinity. And as s goes to the left, it is decreasing. So we say to, oops, I was about to write positive infinity. We say to negative infinity. There we go, negative infinity, because it's going down. This is going down. All right, it's going to keep going infinitely. All right, negative infinity. We already addressed the 0. Now we want to talk about increasing and decreasing. Well, remember, for increasing and decreasing, you look at the graph from left to right. All right, what is this line doing? You know, really, if you go from left to right, all it's doing is getting larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. Even if you look at your table on your calculator and you just scrolled up, scroll down with the x values, you see that as the x values get larger, the y values got larger. All right, so this is the increasing. So there's no decreasing. All right, and this thing is increasing from way out here, from negative infinity to positive infinity. So we can say that it's increasing from negative infinity to positive infinity. All right. Now, that is graph examples A and B. On the back, there are some U tries, which, man, we might as well just go ahead and do them. So, I'll do this first one. I'll do this one. I don't want to make the video too long. So, for this one, we reflect the x-axis, move left 5, and then up 2. So reflect the x-axis, move left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 2. So I know it's going to be our starting point right there, -5, 2. But anyway, let's go to our calculator and graph it. All right, so we have negative square root of x plus 5 plus 2. All right, there we go. We have that value right there, -5 up 2. You see it? Okay, so let's go to our table. -5, -2 is where to start. We have -4, 1. There's our 0, -1, 0. All right, and 4, -1. So those are points we can put on our calculator right there. So those are points that we can put on our graph. So let's go ahead and put those on there. So again, those points were -5, 2, -4, 1, -1, 0, which is right here, -1, 0. And the other one was 4, -1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1. So there we go. We're gonna connect the dots from there. Just keep going. Let it keep going. So now, transformations that we have present. Let me make this a little smaller. All right. We have the negative tells us it reflects the x-axis. The +5 underneath the radical tells us left 5. And the 2 tells us up 2. Okay, so there's our transformations right there. Now, domain. Domain, again, there's our starting point, -5, 2. And from there, the x values just go to the right. So for the domain, we're going to define it as x is greater than or equal to -5. And for our range, starting at the y value, which is 2, all the values the graph goes down, so the values decrease. So we say y is less than or equal to 2. In behavior, to the left here, all right, as this goes to the left, the function goes up to this y value 2 right here. That's as high as it goes, so it goes up to 2. And as this goes to the right, it is decreasing. All right, it'll keep decreasing infinitely. So we're going to say to negative infinity. Negative infinity. Man, you know what? Let me make sure I explain the end behavior over here right. Yes, I did. Okay, cool. All right. Zeros. We had our 0, x is equal to -1. We saw that on our graph. And then clearly you can see that this graph is decreasing. All right, it is decreasing. So we're going to say decreasing from what x value, -5, -5 to, and it just decreases to the right, positive infinity. All right, so it decreases to positive infinity. Man, positive infinity. All right, so man, the video ran over my 15-minute mark, so I'm going to stop right here. But hey, I really hope that this helps you, and if you watch it before class, great, you'll be ahead of the curve. All right, but if you watch it after class, then it'll be a good remediation or extra help for you, man. So catch you later.